So from last class, if you remember, we are discussing about DBMS, database management systems. So now there are few things that is not mentioned in the syllabus. Okay, someone was asking about the syllabus. Wait a minute. Okay. So syllabus I have shared in the WhatsApp group. Syllabus I have shared in the WhatsApp group. You can go to the syllabus. So DBMS, as we have discussed, firstly it's a collection of data, and when there is a DBMS, there should not be any data that is not, you cannot relate with your rest of the data. When you have a data, all the data have to be should be able to be related. They so like if you have a set of data about temperature, that means weather data. That means all the fluctuations in the weather every hour basis. If you are keeping in a system, then the other any different data should not be kept together. So all data that is kept should be related to one another. They should always be related to one. That is one of the rules, or you can say that is one of the basic rules in database systems. Then then after that, data is not stored in one place. It is divided in multiple places. There is a lot of reason doing this. If any server is damaged or any system is damaged, then if a data is there in only one place, then the data will be lost, or if the system crashes, then data will be lost, in the sense the connection will be lost. Data will not be lost. Data is there in the hardware, but if it happens that sometimes network connection is not available. So if if the main server network connection is not available, then some other way of connecting to the some other way of connecting to the user should be possible. That means it should not be off anytime. Like when you have a mobile phone, when you travel from one district to another district, or one city to another city, your connection in the mobile phone is seamless. Means at least when you go by the highway. If you go by remote area, then some places it happens that the network problem causes issue. But more or less, when you travel from one location to another location, you will not know that you have entered a different network area. And in exceptional cases, it is told that you are entering a different area, but mostly when you travel in one place to another place, so your that is not possible. Your disconnection is not possible, because if you disconnect from location, if you travel from one place to other place, then if you disconnect, then that is not a good technology. That means, so what happens is, many different alternate network providers, they provide the network. If a geo network is there more strong, then compared to BSNL network, or then if you have a phone, then the geo phone will take the network of the BSNL tower and give the signal to you, and money will be given to the BSNL, like that. But we have seen that in now BSNL have less towers as compared to Geo. Geo have towers in every places around India. So Geo connection is available most of the time, and since most of the connections is available, so more people are using. So ultimately what happens is, the advantage of the Geo is not beneficial, because more people are using it. Since more people are using, more tower is required. But in one place, in one particular area, more than one or two towers, it's not possible to provide. In one, a tower have a range. If you understand, a tower, a particular radio tower have a range, and if in that range two or three towers are there of the same company, different company towers can be there. But if the same company towers is there within two or three means two or three towers of the same company within the same location network, then there will be wastage. Instead of having advantage, it will bring negative. It will be a disadvantage. Why? Because what happens, your signal will be catched by both the tower, and if any outgoing call you are making, and both the tower will try to do the connection. Firstly, that's why in one place, in only one network is there, and one tower is kept in a place where the first tower network is not able to reach. If the first tower network is able to reach, then inside that area no other tower of the same company will be provided. It brings negative result. Instead of having positive result, it will bring negative result, because when a person try to make a phone connection, then what will happen, both the tower will now catch the signal that some incoming phone is coming. Or if anyone is calling you from outside, then your call will be given to you. Then what happens, so your phone or the tower company, instead of doing one thing one time, it will do the same thing two times by both the tower it is trying to do. When you make a phone call, both the tower will catch your signal, and they will try to give this to the next tower, and by the time that the main center identify that two different towers are making the same call connection, one of the tower will be disconnected, and by the time taken to do this, instead of, see, the two times it has to do the same thing. First it to find out that two connections are coming from the same number, because there is two tower of the same network in the one region. So now by the time the main center headquarter identify that two connections are coming for the same number, because there are two towers, one of the connection will be cancelled. It will be cancelled by the network hardware. That means that particular network tower will only cut your one connection, and your connection will be given by the first one or the second one, depending upon which one is more having strong signal. So by the time this will happen, another person who is trying to make a call, he will be waiting, because the headquarter is giving wastage of time in identifying which one should, because both the tower incoming call it cannot give, because one person if calling to you, then only one tower is busy for your connection. In that tower can handle suppose 1000 or 2000 or suppose 10,000 network connections. um, Okay, so suppose 10,000 network connections can be handled by one particular tower, and other tower can handle 10,000 connections. So when two towers are doing the same thing, then it is becoming half, because then that time that is wasted to find out that which is the original caller or which is the duplicate tower making separate signal. That time can be utilized in doing other things like sending data, or sending message for some other user who is maybe waiting for the signal. And if more than two towers are there, 3 4 5 towers, then this problem increases more and more. And to solve these problems, there are different ways, there are different mechanism that such problems can be solved. uh, but anyway, but that is what I am meaning to say is that this connection should always be live, means alive. Your connection should always be alive. So when you have a database, DBMS database system, that the database is copied into different, transferred into different servers, maybe one in Bangalore, one in Delhi, one in Pune. Um if you have download something from internet, then sometimes maybe it may be some movie or some video song or like that, then you must have seen the mirror, that mirror 1, mirror 2, mirror 3, download from mirror 1, mirror 2, download mirror 3, some server maybe from US, some server from Singapore. So mirror 1, that means your same data is the same, but their storage is one same data, one is in Singapore, one is in US. So data is always replicated in one place, and particularly in one country it is not kept. What happens if there is a war? If suppose all the data is bit in India, and or in one particular country, suppose in China, all the data is in China. Now if China is getting and under a tense situation, then what if the government decide to block the network, or what if there is a war and there is a bombarding in the area, network connection is all lost, then the rest of the world will be suffering, because all the data is there in one particular location. So data, you will see mostly these data servers, if you hear of if you have seen movies where very high value NASA scientists they go and collect data, or very high security CIA data storage, their location is either very deep in the undersea, or under in a island where or in a country where like in Kazakhstan or Tajikistan. Such places are means good choice for data storage servers, because their popularity in the world is very positive, not negative like other countries. Means if your company, suppose you are working somewhere or you have your own company, and if you want to create your data server, you want to play, you want to decide where to keep, definitely you will not choose a country that is under tension. You will not choose a country that is in a position of a war or have continuously been a background of being involved in a war. Means if you belong to that country, then you will definitely now if you are born in a country that is having such tension, then definitely because of your love for your country you will put your data there. But if you are an outsider, suppose you are working in US or any US or European owner of a company, they will definitely not take a chance to put a data server in a place or in a country that is easily accessible or easily can be bombarded with or easily can be involved in a war. And their locations are very secret. Generally these data servers and basically the data servers related to the defense, but the Google data server, Google have lot of servers. India, Google have servers. China, Korea, Switzerland, lot of countries Google have their servers, and data is kept in every server. India server does not mean only Indian people data is there. European people data also will be there in the Indian server. If required, it will be used for service. If any untoward situation happens, or if any network error happens, then that particular the network will be diverted, and service will be provided from the Indian data server, and this happens very fast. And nowadays data servers are in the space also, because connection is wireless, radio connection. All our communication is wireless. Our mobile phone is wireless. Our Netflix and everything, this is everything goes wireless. Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi means wireless. Radio and how this connection is wireless connection happens without any medium, is air. Through air the signal travel. So data can be saved in the space also, in the space station. And in the near future, you will see that Google has his own rocket, because what is the advantage of Google giving a rocket? Because Google want to keep the data, because in the world no place will be the safe to store your record, because of so many problems that everything have to be kept underground. Or but better way of data will be your other extra space your planets, different planets. Now people are saying that people will go and live in moon, people will go and live in Mars. But actually you will see that within the next 50 years, most of us will be means will be there. uh, Maybe I will be not be there, or some of you maybe will be there. But the outer space will be used for maintaining the data servers, so that it can be safe from any way. No one can because to access the moon is not easy. So if any country wants to keep the data secure, without means 100% guarantee data is secure, then the data service will be put in the moon. Data service will be put in the moon, and if not moon, then in a space station, in a satellite that will rotate around the earth. And so data is secure even if any country is under war. So your your data will always be alive. Your network connection will means network connection will not be lost. And things like that. So these things are like that. And other thing is that because of security reason, hacking, if one server is attacked by hacker, data is lost, then data copy to different server helps to retrieve the data back, or to identify that if any changes have been modified. uh, so generally in databases, say this, there is a there's a the terminal technical word called timestamp. So stamp, you understand, putting a mark, stamp mark, we say. If we put stamp in our hand, because if anyone is COVID positive, so timestamp means a marker that mention the time. So now in database, every data have a timestamp, means in what time that was changed. And the other different servers around the world, they share their timestamp with the each other. And if any change, suppose my data timestamp is morning 9 a.m. and your data also should be exactly same 9 a.m. and that means no changes have been made in the database. If my data has been changed in 9:15, then I will immediately give this message to all my backup server, and immediately the backup server will update their data and keep it 9:15. But if any hacker comes into the system, so what the hacker will do, hacker does the back entry, because a hacker is not aware that how many data backup I have. I may have 2 data backup, I may have 100 data backup, I may have 100 servers. So hacker is not aware. So when he will attack my server, so he will change my data, he will not able to change the replicated data, other backup data, because he don't know how many backup I have. But if I am the manager of the company, I will know how many backup the company have. So if any change is there in one machine, I will tell my system manager that tell the employee to update the rest of the database. So everything will be in place, no confusion. But if any hacker comes, he attack from outside, then definitely this timestamp helps a database administrator, the person who looks into the database. And this database administrator, they look into the timestamp of every record in the all the servers, that whether is there any mismatch in any timestamp. Up to fractions of second this is measured, and if there is a exact similarity, then the test is cleared, and this continues, and this continues, and it's a complex task. And there's a lot of issues with database, lot of challenges with database. There is a lot of advantages that database provide, like we can put data into one place. We can organize the data. If you have data organized in a organized manner, then instead of maintaining a manual diary, then if you put your data into one system, digitized manner, then it searching becomes very easy, searching becomes very fast. You yourself, you see, if you write your class note in your class copy, then every page you have to search for with the topic name, your particular topic name, or the particular date. You cannot go directly into that particular page. And if you have a book, the page number is written, but inside the page number again you have to search for the particular subtopic or the particular word, but see, if you have your system, and if you download the PDF file, so every PDF file you can give a name to the PDF file. Suppose introduction, then suppose your this in DBMS, then suppose binary search, then suppose bubble sort, one PDF file. then within, just as you open your folder, within just 1 second you can tell that okay, this is my file for binary search and this is my file for sort, this sort lesson notes of the sort. But if you maintain the same thing in a class note, or if you maintain your class copy, then you have to turn pages. Where was it? Where was that record? So that is not a DBMS, but see, with the system, the computer provides that facility that we are able to do things faster, because firstly the files are broken into small pieces. It is not only one single file. If you have one single file, the name of the file is suppose CBCS IT semester 2020, one file only. Then writing the copy note and the PDF file is meaning the same thing. No advantage. But supposedly you yourself have found out and put the chapter different, then in the time of the exam, then you can tell that which chapter is missing from your notes, or like that. So that particular files is broken down into small sections, so that we can do proper management. So when something is smaller, management is faster, and error chance of error is very less. So in DBMS also, if data is very big, and one more thing, that in your folder, in IT folder, you will keep your IT notes, you will not keep your core subject note. Otherwise you will lose that, which you will lose the both the notes. You will be confused which note belongs to which chapter, and you will keep on searching your core subject note, you will not find it. But the mistake is you put it into the IT folder. So in DBMS same thing apply. Whatever this common sense we have, that common sense apply to DBMS also. And DBMS is not only small file, 200 300 file, there will be lakhs and crores of data in DBMS, so huge. Just imagine the Aadhaar system, or the bank data system, or the Aadhaar data system. So huge, it's crores of 50 crore 100 crore people have data in the bank or in the Aadhaar. So such a huge database, if it is maintained in one file, then all the same problem happens, that management will be difficult, and these problems will happen. And so database have the file, firstly the files have to be kept together, means all the related files only. The files which are not related or unrelated, or not proper connection with the present database, have to be put into a separate database, not in the current database. And after that, secondly, data have to be put into small record, and not only one big record, so that the management is better. Searching of the data can be much better if we have small management, small packages, small parts of the same thing. So just by opening it, we can tell that how many data is there, whether my required data is there or not. And that was some of the and data is always replicated means different copy of the data is kept, so that if one copy is damaged, other copy can be used. This is the example that about the servers. Multiple servers are available for the same data, and so data is replicated. And data replication it is called. So you understand what is called replication. Replication means repeating copy, making one's copy of the other. Replication. So if data is replicated, then there are other advantages. It can be at the time of catastrophic, if any there is a natural catastrophe, any earthquake or something, then a building collapse, then the data is lost, server is damaged, then that can be retrieved from a different server. Or if any political controversy or any war broke out, then that's these things data is very important, crucial. Mostly is the defense data or government data. Then thirdly, if any hacker attack the system and if there is data replication, then the timestamp will be used to find out where which part of the data modification have happened. So as soon as the server changes the timestamp, the administrator will find out that he will not know when attacker attacks, but suppose after 1 hour he find out that some attacker have come and changed the data, but rest of the replication have the previous data, so he will immediately identify that particular data has been attacked, and that data can be updated. But the hacker have already gone away with the data, he have already stolen the data. So data replication is required just for a safety net, but it cannot be foolproof. And now data security can be provided, that is again important. Data security, how data can be made secure. So now if we have a table, if we have when we have our password or something like that, we write it in a diary, our bank password or email ID password, user ID, that we tend to forget. So how we write it, we do not write it exactly, so that or some our most of us now what happens is we save it in our mobile phone itself. And so Google Pay is there, your Google Pay, your Paytm, everything have a password, mobile and your bank account email ID, so people tend to save it in the mobile phone. And so how you save it in your mobile phone? Do you give the name in my Google Pay password? You will give some code name like GPID or GPWD, so that you can understand Google password, or some different name, some code name. So see, the small things itself we are using code word. So data also, data security, if we want to keep the data secure, so when we have a data in one place we have a data in one particular area, in one particular arrangement, and in the other server, in a different server, it is a good practice to change the arrangement a little bit, not exactly follow the same arrangement, just to make the arrangement little bit changed, or something like that, so that if anything happens, then at least the hacker will be not able to understand that how two data is different. It is the same data only, but this thing is different, format is different. And what happens is, this format, after 1 month or so, or 1 year, some bank tell you message that your password is going to expire. If you have a bank account, online bank account, then the bank give you password updation message that your password will expire in 3 month. And nowadays in ATM card also, it is mandatory that if you don't change your password in 3 month, your password will be expired. So ATM card, if you have used your ATM card, you have to update your password every 3 month. Earlier what happened, you give your password, you can use it for as many long years you want. The same password I have used my bank for last 7-8 years. But now what happens is, there's ATM card, not bank mandatory to change in 1 year, it is compulsory, you have to change. But ATM card now, it's mandatory that you change the password every 3 month. So now this database also, data system also, the structure of the data, the location of the dates keep on changing after because keeping one thing in one place is not safe. It's a common sense. Keeping one place, keeping so, and if the data is very important, then keeping the data in one place, in one location is not safe, because it can be attacked, it can be attacked by the hacker. So so the location keeps on changing, the structure keeps on changing, okay, the format keeps on changing. So that is, everything happens in the background, but we are not aware of it because we are simple people, we are no technical know-how of how to handle if something changes. And so data security can be provided in such way. Then data integration tells that we can keep different types of data, we can keep together, different, not only text data, but we can keep video data, we can keep audio data, we can keep data together, and there is no problem for a database to handle different types of data. And minimize data inconsistency. Minimize data inconsistency means if one place the product price is written $43.95, then the data in the other place should always be $43.95. It should not be different, should not be different. How can it be different? Because of some technical error, because of some manual error, entry may be different. So this particular timestamp thing will be useful in checking whether the data has been updated in the right time or not, and whether everything is in the means in the same platform, everything is in the same platform in the same time. So data inconsistency, that inconsistent means fluctuation, lot of fluctuation. So and consistency means very smooth, not much fluctuation. So if data is one place, data is consistent, the same data is put everywhere, that is your data consistency. Then improved data access. So improved data access means we are getting access to the data, we are getting access to the data, uh, data access means if the server, these things, problems with the server, uh, so data access, so improve data access, we get access to our data, not uh, eh, we are not able, it cannot happen that something you search and if it is there it will be given you back. If something is not there, then you will not get it back, but if something is there, then definitely system will find it for you. um, if but in copy or in textbook, what happens, something is there but we are not able to find sometimes some definition or some particular term, we are not able to find sometime, some diagram, we just have to look into it many times, and sometimes what happens, we give up, we don't find it, but the system, it will not happen. If something is there, it is there, and if you search for it, if you want the system to search it for you, then the system will definitely search it for you. It will never happen that the data is there and system tells you that it is not there. This will not happen. Decision making is improved. Decision making improved means, like I said in previous classes, people can use database for different purpose, for business purpose, what product is sold in what month, and if this month also the same product have to be purchased, then these decisions can be taken, but that decisions can happen only if there is a proper management of the BMS, and specialized people is required to handle DBMS. So same thing here, point 7, increased user productivity. People can efficiently use the time in doing productive work, and let the system do the calculation. Let the system only find out whether some data is there or not. So manual effort, we can save it for our other productive work, like when the data is given to us, we can get the data and do something productive with it, instead of uh, um, just investing our effort in just finding the data. So let the system find the data, and we should be able to use that data and make something out of it. Disadvantages: DBMS increase cost. Lot of training is required, lot of licensing is required in order to use, and complicated technical people are required who can handle complicated demand. So cost is increased because you have to maintain so many licenses. You have to give salary to people who are specialized. Then management complexity. Different company have different databases. Different company have different. That is obviously no format will be same. Because every company manager is different, every company database engineer, every company that technical people is different. So if people are different, they have different brains, they will think differently. So uh, when you are taking data from two different company, suppose you want to take data from Google also, you want to take data from Amazon also, they both have different data maintaining system. If both have the same data maintaining system, then there will be no competition. They both have different data maintaining system. Some is advantages in some place, some is disadvantages in some place. Amazon is much better in the Amazon is much better in handling data which is related to user product discovery, or Amazon is much better in handling data that is more like for advertisement. If you search for a book, Amazon will suggest you that you can buy a pen also. So that is what Amazon will suggest you. Then if you buy a pen, Amazon will suggest you can buy this particular what you say, this particular pen stand also. So such the kind of thing Amazon is good, but Google will not do it. If you search for something, then Google have a different way of giving back your Google will not suggest you, Google will not suggest you that if you search for a pen, Google will not suggest you can buy a pen stand. That will never happen. If you search for pen, then Google will give lot of websites which have pen. And finally, and Google have lot of pages, millions of pages Google have, and maybe in the 100 or 200 page you will find something related to pen stand, but it will never happen that in the left side all the pen is there, in the right side Google is telling you that click here for pen stand. That will not happen. Google is not made to do this suggestion part of the concept. But Amazon, what you do, you go to Amazon, you buy a pen, then what happens, Amazon will suggest that you can buy a pen stand also. Immediately just below it, it will suggest you buy a pen stand. But in Google, if you search for pen, it will never suggest you buy a pen stand. Immediately in the next line, it will never. You have to search it yourself if there is anything related to pen stand. If you search for pen, it will give you pen. If you search for pen stand, it will give you pen stand. And when you open the page, when you click the page, inside the page maybe it may be written that this particular pen stand is used for this pen, or this pen can be used for this particular pen stand. But itself Google will not tell you that you are searching for a pen, but I am also giving a link of pen stand. That will not happen. Google does. So two different company doing two different things, they both have database. Now if you want to collaborate with both of them, your database, you have to, that's complex to take the data from Google, take the data from Amazon, and making use of it for your own company benefit. Then that management is complex because their database maintaining is different. And frequent upgrade replacement cycle means hardware becomes exhausted, your memory, if you have so many data, then very quickly your memory is finished. You have to replace your new memory card, you have to put new memory hard disk, bigger hard disk you have to put. So lot of these changes have to be happen if you want your data to be always fresh. If you have the same old database, and if you keep on collecting your data in the same place, then same thing happens. If you put a small things, if you have small song, if you have a folder where song is there, your folder will be nicely opening if you have 50 songs or 100 songs. But inside the same folder you put 2000 song, folder will take 10 minutes to open. So both, then again there is a disadvantage. Even if you make small file, there is a limit up to which the system can function well. So when you have a database, you cannot wait to fill the database, then you will replace the hardware. Just about just you have to find it that when the database is able to handle properly, then so this frequent upgradation, frequent cycles, it is changing. So our hardware always have this problem, technical things have to be upgraded. Mobile phone always have to be upgraded. Then these are some of the work of database administrator. What a database administrator is: database administrator is a person who is responsible for installation, configuration, upgradation, administration, monitoring and maintenance of database in a organization. So we have our IT officer in university, who you can think of as a person like the DBA, who is this person is responsible for installation, configuration and maintaining. And this DBMS file, what is difference and what are the advantages of DBMS over a simple file system. So these things you go through. File system have lot of disadvantages, because firstly this is not structured properly. People can attack the system properly. People can there is no guarantee of a consistency. What are the advantages of DBMS? That exactly is the same thing, disadvantages of file system. What are the advantages of DBMS? And that is the disadvantages of file system. So file is a simple file. DBMS is a related collection of a structured file. The files are kept in structured manner, and files are kept in format, good format. But in file system, if any format is maintained and no particular way of organizing the data, no thinking is given into things like making data secure or making replication of data and things like that. Okay, then let us